Hi and welcome to this tutorial. Today we're going to focus on the question, how do you handle pressure? Like with the previous tutorials and like with any question that you're asked to interview, the most important part is you provide an example to the actual question. So a poor answer to this question would sound something like, I handle pressure really well, I can work on multiple projects and I thrive under pressure. Now, that might sound okay. However, anybody can say this. And this is why interviewers are always looking for examples of where you've worked under pressure before so they can visualize and resonate with you the situation that you encountered. When providing examples, always use the CALM methodology. It's an acronym designed to help you organize your thoughts. Now, interviews, as we know, are nerve-jangling experiences, and therefore, when you try to cram an answer into your mind, it often doesn't work. This is why we use acronyms. So what does CAR stand for? The C stands for context or background, which means where were you, what was your role, and what pressure were you under? The A stands for action, which means how did you manage the pressure, what steps did you take? And the R stands for result, which means what happened as a result of the action steps that you took. Now it's time to give you an example of a good answer. So, while I was working as a salesperson for a large corporate organization, one of the first tasks I was faced with was facing a client who was particularly unhappy with the service they received. They had 42 unresolved issues, were immensely frustrated by the service they had received. But my job was to deliver new sales targets, and I was under enormous pressure not only to achieve that target, but also to resolve the challenges for this particular customer. This meant a significant number of tasks competing for my attention and only a finite number of hours in the day. The action that I took to alleviate the pressures were to be focused, organised, and to utilise existing team members for support. So my first step was to meet with the existing customer to understand, track and prioritise the 42 issues in order of the customer's priority. Then I set clear, measurable targets that were to be achieved and broken down into small pieces. I planned the amount of sales activity required to hit my own target. I set up weekly conference calls to track the progress, making sure that all outstanding issues are completed. I set up a clear organisation chart along with telephone numbers of the people in different teams that could help the existing customer. So for example, if the customer needed to speak to somebody in the billing department, there was a designated person to solve their problem. The same principle applied within different departments, and the final act was to speak to the senior management to present my recommendations. The result was that in 6 weeks, all 42 issues were resolved. It cemented my relationship with the existing customer in showing leadership and demonstrating that I could solve their problems. It demonstrated to my management team that I could handle pressure, but more importantly, while under extreme time pressure to solve so many problems, I discovered new opportunities within this customer's account. This helped contribute to my new sales target. Ultimately, by organising myself, utilising my time effectively, I've been able to solve existing challenges and hit my new business sales target. So hopefully what that demonstrates is an answer which you can follow through, so you can see the beginning, the middle and the end. So where the person was working, what actions did they have to take to overcome the pressure, and what was the result? What was the kind of happy ever after, if you like? And it doesn't matter, this is a sales example. Now, if, for example, if you're in school, it could be a time when you've been under pressure to manage your college or university work, deliver presentations. If you work in a retail store, it could be a time when you're managing multiple different aspects of the job, so managing customers, managing things behind the scenes, stock, for example. If you work in accountancy, is it time pressure? You work into particular deadlines? All we're asking you to do here is think of an example, and all you have to do is just remember the CAR acronym, and this just takes the pressure away from you in the interview process. So all you have to remember is an example. So where were you? What was the actual pressure? What actions did you take to overcome the pressure? And what was the result? That's all the employers want to hear. It's just an example which can resonate with them, your approach to overcoming and managing pressure.